that down, let's move on to this, shall we? You know, it's only July. So it's a long ways to the next Oscars, but the Oscars is a big show. So the people running it are already starting to make their plans. And one of the things that they decided to do was to start their search for a host early. Now, of course, this past year, Jimmy Kimmel hosted the Oscars. And you know what? Listen, I'm the type of guy, and I know a lot of people disagree with me on this, and that's fine. But I'm just the type of guy that, I don't know, I think a movie star should host the biggest night of the movies. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. But I just would prefer to see a movie star host the biggest night of the movies. Now that being said, Kimmel did a very good job last year. I got to hand it to him. I give credit where it's due. He did a very, very good job with the awards last year. I mean, he kept the show moving, all that kind of stuff. He did a good job. I got to give him his props. The ratings were the highest that they had been in 5 years. So the highest ratings that the Oscars had in 5 years. It was a very good, very well run show. So it was great. It was well done. Not the best Oscars, not in the top 10 of the best Oscars, but it was definitely firing on all cylinders. It did well. Now here's the thing. The other day, this kind of came up on the John Campea Show. We were talking about potential Oscar hosts. And I said this. I said, I believe, for those of you guys who watched the show, you'll remember me saying this. I said, I believe they're going to have a very, very hard time finding a host for the Oscars because I don't think anybody's going to want to do it because it's become a new fun game for everybody that once somebody gets chosen to be the host of the Oscars, everybody starts hunting for things to attack them with. I mean, look what happened with Kevin Hart, right? They selected Kevin Hart to be a host of the Oscars. Instantly, the world went into overdrive, digging through decades of social media posts from Kevin Hart, trying to find whatever they could, attacked him. Eventually, he backed out of it. He pulled out. And it's just gotten worse and worse and worse every year. So I said the other day that I think the Oscars are absolutely going to have a very hard time finding a host because I don't know anybody that's going to want to do it. I don't know anybody that's going to want to do it. Because the moment you say yes, the world takes that as a challenge to dig up any dirt they can on you and to attack you with whatever they want to attack you with. And it's just not kind of worth it. Well, with that being said, late last night, news came out that they have already offered the hosting job to a couple people and they've already turned it down. This comes to us from Variety. It says this, Jimmy Kimmel and John Mulaney, by the way, I love John Mulaney, have both passed on the job of hosting the next Oscars on March 2nd, Variety has confirmed. Kimmel, a 4-time Oscar host, reportedly turned down the gig earlier this summer. Mulaney, whose presenting routine was one of the highlights of this year's show, and by the way, his whole routine about if you build it, they will come, like the whole thing about that, Field of Dreams, his whole spiel on that was one of the highlights of the show. Anyway, Mulaney, whose presenting routine was one of the highlights of this year's show and who also hosted the Governor's Awards, has a busy schedule with several projects coming up. His talk show, Everybody's in LA, could also get renewed by Netflix, according to Puck, which first reported the news. Now, here's the thing. Let me throw this out here first. All right. That's all bullshit. Oh no, John Mulaney's very busy. Bullshit. He is busy. But we're not talking about him starring in a new TV show that will take up 4 months of him filming. We're not talking about him turning down a role in a new movie that'll take 2 to 3 months of him being on set shooting. We're talking about hosting the Oscars one night. Oh, no, very busy. Let me look at my calendar. Yes, March 2nd of 2025. Oh, I'm busy that Sunday night. No, that's bullshit. What this is a very diplomatic way of saying, no, I'm not going to do it. No way. We've seen what you've done to other hosts, and we're not going to do it. It ain't going to happen. And it's really, I gotta say, unfortunate. Not that I'm dying to have John Mulaney host the Oscars, although I think he would be a very good I think Mulaney would do a very good job. And not that I'm dying to have Jimmy Kimmel come back again, although again, props to him. I think he did a very good job last year. But I think this is just the tip of the iceberg. They're eventually going to get a host. I don't know, maybe it'll be Joe Coy. Because that worked out so well for the Golden Globes. If Joe, if you're watching, I love Joe Coy, but that didn't work out so well. They'll eventually land on somebody, but we're ultimately going to find out that whoever it is they end on, it's going to be like, we're going to find out it was literally the 10th, 11th, 12th, or 13th pick. I mean, that's just the way it's going to be. Now, I've seen a lot of people in the live chat, and I've had people say this to me before, and I'm all for it. They said, John, there's only one answer to who should host the Oscars this year. We want to thank a sponsor of today's episode, Hungryroot. Guys, you know me, I like things that make my life easier, especially things that make it easier for me to eat healthy and eat well, and certainly more effectively than trying to order from food delivery services. Hungryroot is the easiest way to eat healthy. They send you fresh, high-quality groceries, simple, delicious recipes, and essential supplements. It's like having someone else do all the planning and shopping so you don't even have to think about it. Hungryroot gets to know your personal health goals, dietary restrictions, favorite foods, how much time you want to spend cooking, and more. Then, they build you a personalized cart with all your grocery needs for the week, including easy 4-ingredient recipes to put those groceries to use. Each order is fully customizable so you can take their suggestions or choose anything you want. They've got fresh produce, high-quality meat and seafood, healthy snacks, smoothies, sweets, ready-to-eat meals, kids snacks and meals, vitamins and supplements, and much more. Everything from Hungryroot follows a simple standard. It's got to taste good, be quick to make, and contain whole, trusted ingredients. Right now, Hungryroot is offering the John Campea Show listeners 40% off your first delivery and free veggies for life. Just go to hungryroot.com/Campea to get 40% off your first delivery and get your free veggies. That's hungryroot.com/Campea. Don't forget to use our link so that they know we sent you. Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds. To which I would say, hell yes. I would love. I mean, Hugh Jackman did a very good job hosting the Oscars the one year he did it. He's a big song and dance man, and to have him and Hugh up there with their comedic timing together, or him and Ryan up there with their comedic timing together, it would be gold. Two legitimate movie stars hosting the biggest night of the movies, the stars of probably what's going to be the biggest film of the year or the second biggest film of the year, one of the two. I mean, it's just poetic, it's romantic, it's perfect. Hugh Jackman, Ryan Reynolds should be hosting the Oscars. Here's the problem, though. They ain't gonna do it. There's no way Ryan Reynolds or Hugh Jackman will host the Oscars today. There's no way they're gonna do it. They're gonna say thank you, but no thank you, for the same reasons Jimmy Kimmel's already turned it down, for the same reasons that John Mulaney's already turned it down. They're like, you know what? We're flying high right now. We don't want to paint a target on us, because that's what the public does. When you become the host of the Oscars, the public sees you as voluntarily putting a target on your chest, and we don't want to do it. So I don't know what they're going to do for getting a host, but it's not going to be an A-lister. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, and maybe they'll knock it out of the park and we'll get somebody we'll be very excited about. But I'm having my doubts right now, to be honest with you. And with Kimmel turning it down, Mulaney turning it down, I think, again, my friends, it is just the beginning. I think it's just the beginning. We're going to hear about a lot of people turning stuff down. So there's that. Question is for you guys. What do you think about this? Are you surprised that Jimmy Kimmel and John Mulaney have turned it down? Maybe you think, nah, John, a lot of people would love to host the Oscars. They're going to line up. Or maybe you agree with me that, you know what? Yeah, they're going to have a hard time finding people. Oh, somebody just said Key and Peele. Oh, I would love Key and Peele to host the Oscars. They'll never do it. I think they're going to have a hard time finding people to do it. But who knows? Whatever you guys think, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts.